Hello. So we've discussed a lot of things about business and everything. So there are a lot of opportunities now because the world is changing so much to think what kind of things, what sort of industries are going to be very, very successful in the coming years, really, because we have had a lot of people have been very, very fearful during this times just because the health issues going on. So there's got to be a lot of healing for the world. So um, I think community works. There's going to be much more focus on smaller communities. People want to have local businesses and they want to support them. I think time for you get like a divide. You get like the people who want to go for the big everything. So they want to follow those big companies and do everything very, very on a large scale. And these will be the people who will be like time poor and very busy lifestyles. But I equally think that there's going to be like this massive surge to going back to the olden days where people just want to be like, they're more concerned about their own environment, their own road, their own town, their own, their own community. They're not going to be that bothered about like what suits the government, da da da. They want to just like look after the immediate environment near them. So this could be quite a lot of good things happening in the future. So I think people would definitely particularly now that we've had this fuel shortage, there's going to be like power shortage. I think the entrepreneurs in the areas are going to think about how to actually provide all of those things to do with energy, to do with fuel, to do with food, to do with health, to do with support, to do with even, I mean, we right now, where I am in the UK, there's a problem with dustbin. The rubbish has not been collected for several weeks, and there are just piles and piles and piles of rubbish everywhere, and birds are attacking it, dogs are attacking it, cats are attacking it, and there's like rubbish scattered everywhere, and it's been quite windy, so it's been absolutely dreadful. But things are going to change, things are going to change, and I'm positive things are going to change for much, much better, because the spiritual awakening that people have had during this time, it's just made them think that they've been too trusting. They have literally looked outside of themselves for happiness and fulfillment and acknowledgement. And actually, all of that is within yourself. You don't need any of that. You just literally need that small group around yourself of friends, family, neighbors, colleagues. That's it. That's what you need in order to function. And what a really successful society is that every person has got somebody else's back in mind. We have each other's back. We look after each other. Self-sufficiency, resilience will be something that will come out of this terrible mess that we are in. I'm absolutely 100% sure of that, because I just think that a lot of businesses that have been like, they feel as though they've lost everything because the big businesses, big everything. And actually we realize small is beautiful and small is manageable, and small is the way to go forward because it's more sustainable. And you don't have somebody who has a completely different lifestyle to you guys, lives miles and miles away from you, maybe in another country, controlling and saying what sort of things would be good for you. No, you know what suits you. You know what suits your environment. You know what suits your communities, your families, and your friends. That is the way forward for certain communities. I'm not saying it's going to be for every community and every person within that community, but I think as a rule going forward, that is going to be the way forward. So in order to actually learn that, so we need to know going forward, what industries are going to be they're going to be in need. So healthcare, and I think we're going to go back to Ayurvedic ways, herbal things, all of those Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, Bach remedies. We are going to actually take control of our health, because we have depended on this tablet for this and this tablet. Once you take it, you get side effects, you get another problem. So we're going to just take control and just actually think what we're eating, control the air quality, the water quality, and the earth quality. So this is it. So these are going to be the things that we're going to look into. So we're going to look into things like providing community care. We're going to have better local public service, public transport. We're going to have cleaner. I mean, sometimes I think even electricity. Why are we using electricity for cars and things? That's not really 100% green. Why do we use water? Why do we use, wind, things like that? I mean, we just got to just be a little bit more, using our scientists, our engineers, civil engineers, just all of those things to actually rebuild our society. We need to look within. That's what we need to do. Stop looking out, start looking in. What things do we have? What resources, what talents, what skills we have? And go back to the olden days where, each successful business will take on apprentices, and they will teach them the crafts and the artistic things like woodwork, metalwork, blacksmiths, like gardening, planting, decorating, building things, welding things, construction, just actually bringing everybody in. And all these young people are constantly stuck on a device. What are we doing? They're just like, these are young men. They should be active, cleaning rivers, public footpaths. They should be out. They should be out utilizing all the lovely resources that we have around us, all the open fields, parks. Those are the things we should do. So I think the right people right now, if they were to actually really think what the world needs, the community needs, we are going to be very, very successful. So let's have a look then. So I think branding will be very good. So, and you want to have like a definite brand, because powerful brands are, so if you choose a name, make sure it's a name that's quite catchy and you advertise it well. So you want to actually build a brand. So through repetition, so whether or not you have a car and you do like a cleaning business, for example, so you could actually advertise it on your car, or maybe supply your clients who actually you do services for little sort of car stickers, so they can put it at the back of their car. That's not going to cost you any money. You just want to start building a brand, so people actually think, I don't know, marigolds, gloves, marigold cleaners, your local cleaners, so and make sure that when you have a strong brand, people will always remember you really well. So make sure that you have a very definite thing. So as you get clients, you might want to even do a few clients free of charge to begin with. Just like say that you're going to do like, I don't know, half an hour or an hour for them, and you just going to spend that time, say, I don't know, like a deep clean or whatever. I'm not saying to clean a whole flat or house or anything like that, but so that they can see the quality of your work. So if it's oven cleaning, again, quality of your work. If you do it, make sure you take photographs before and after, and then advertise. And I really think companies, there are going to be local groups which are going to be maybe even like we have our own equivalent to Facebook in this area. So that area will have its own sort of thing that other people can access from other areas, but this will be very much like local businesses. It's not always going to be the big businesses, big networks, big social media. No, this is going to be like very much to do, and things that even people who don't really particularly have very good technology, they can actually advance. I don't know, there will be people who are actually very clever. They can come up with new forms of things that we can actually like access. So I'm pretty sure we can do something like that. There are such clever people out there. Anyway, so when you have a brand, you have to have an idea of what you want to do, and you've got to be very focused about what your ethos is going to be. So if, for example, you do cleaning, so you have to be very specific to say that you have insurance, you're going to be reliable, you're going to be consistent. So if you don't want to work on a Friday, you never say we can do any day. You can't do any day. So you just got to be very careful to just be very focused. And so you just want to say you're going to be like quality. You're going to give them really, you're going to be trustworthy because you're going to be going into people's homes. You're going to have respect for the environment that you work in the sense that you'll be wearing slippers when you come in rather than bringing your maybe muddy shoes or whatever in. And just like, and consistency, and you have like very much like, this is how much we charge per time, and per hour or whatever. And you've got to be really, really sort of like, so if you are doing like a 3-bedroom house or something and like one lounge or whatever, you need to know exactly how long it's going to take to that environment, so you don't undercharge and you don't overcharge. So it's, and you have the perfect timing. So you could always say to them, I'm going to do the first one. I think I'm going to book out like 4 hours, and there it's going to be like, I don't know, say £12 or £14 per hour. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do it and just see whether or not we can actually make it in that time. If you're working on your own, so it'd be like 4 hours. If you're working with somebody else, it'll be 2 hours. And so you would just like specifically say, if you're using your own products, your own vacuum cleaner, you got to just tell them that as well. Or if you want things, you let them know. And it's also good to let them know that if you have to, like, for example, if you're coming to clean, you're not coming to actually tidy up. So if they could make sure everything is tidy, that's going to save you time and save them money. So, you're going to have really, and you're just going to just say that we're going to arrive at 8 a.m., say on a Tuesday, and there's 2 of us working, we think 4 hours, and we shall let you know how, if it's done. And just ask them exactly what they want done. So if they, for example, if it takes you 3.5 hours, you can just say, well, it took us 3.5 hours. However, if you want to, we can maybe clean the windows in 2 of the rooms, or we can give the shower an extra bit of clean, or clean the tiles. And do you know what I mean? You can just say that we could also, during that extra half an hour, we can do this. So you've got to be very specific. So you've got to communicate that really, really well. So, and also if you're working 4 hours, you've got to just say that I'm going to come in at 8 and I'm going to be there 4 hours, but I'm going to take like 20-minute breaks. So I'll be there just 4 hours and 20 minutes. So that if they're coming back home and you're still there, they know the reason why. You want to communicate with them very well. And it's always, if you prefer to be working when there's no kids around or they're not around, it's always good to let them know, because obviously that's going to take you time. So they want to know the service that you provide, the price. You want to make sure your quality and integrity, insurance, everything in place. That gives you, and once you do that and you're consistent, believe me, before you know it, you will have a really good clientele, and that because your customers will be like your referral. They refer you if they think you're trustworthy, and be honest with them. Tell them how many more clients you can take in, and some people have like weekly cleans, some people have fortnightly, some people have once a month. Some people have a deep clean once every couple of months. They don't have the regular ones, they do that themselves. So just make sure that you have your prices in, and obviously a house, changing bedding and all of that kind of stuff. Some housework's really heavy work. So you want to make sure you're charging the right amount of money. If it's costing you more money in terms of, and be very clear about the location. So this is the area that I can work. If there's an area where it's like, you have to pay for parking, you want to actually add that to that as well, or just say that I will need you to pay for my parking. So it'd be this much plus this parking. So, and also just make sure that you also negotiate things like holidays. So you will be having, holiday. I should give you a notice. I can either, ask a friend to, ask them if they want cover or they don't. So you need to actually be very much on top of it. And once you have you are consistent with it, that consistency and communication are everything. People don't mind paying a little bit more for something that's really good value, but a little bit more expensive. That will create a brand name for you, and you want to stick to that, and it comes to a point where if it's like, if you decided to have like a radio, if you have a local radio and you want to advertise on it, make sure you have a really catchy jingle. So that will actually even heighten your brand. Or if you have, like, for example, if you're doing, say, marigold cleaners, if you're doing like the I don't know, the marigolds, make sure that it just is representative of your business. So you don't go and put something like that doesn't really, Icelandic or something cleaners, that doesn't mean anything really. So you just want to have a name that's people can actually resonate with it as well. Brand names are very important. That's how, but people literally shop for the service more than their product. So, I think this is where small business have got that niche, because no matter how good Tesco's is, if blah blah on top of the road, even if they charge more, but if they're nice, friendly, and they care about you, people would rather do that. So that is always, I think, service is everything. And the companies over the years who have had really good service, they're the companies that are still going. If service goes, the business is not, it's not all there. So this is what it means. So brand is all about, it's obviously to do with the product, or service. So you want to have a really good product, really good service. You don't want to be all things to all men. You just want to be very definite about what you're selling. Service is very important. Consistency, and you have to really be aware of your costs. So if you're doing cleaning, you want to make sure that you actually know the products, how much they cost, and if you're using your own car, how much the petrol is. Make sure you have a little bit of money for all because it costs money to run a car. It's not just the petrol. You have service, all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you put everything in to make sure that you are actually charging and you're not out of pocket. People need to trust you. That is also ultimate thing as well. So you want to make sure that when you leave, you just if you want to leave a little note or a little text, say of the cleaning is now finished, all the doors are locked, the windows are closed, and I look forward to see I'll see you next week, something like that. And let them give you feedback, and always be ready to some people are very gracious with their feedback. Some people are a little bit like not so gracious, even though you've done a good job, they just can't utter the words. Don't take it personally. But brand is everything, and that's what you're doing. The more consistent you are, and the more you put the name of the business out, or your own name. It doesn't have to necessarily be, it could be Bev's Best Cleaners or something, but it's yours and it represents you and it's consistent and it's reliable and trustworthy, and that's what people want, and they will pay that extra money for it. Anyway, that's it. So it's all about branding. Branding makes it strong. Thank you.